the age of 35 currently have savings rates of negative 2%. Wow. We need to set up a game plan. We need to get you back into the financial markets in a very positive way. And we can do that. Just join philsgang.com. We're here to help you. It's only $49.95 a month. That's it. You're going to be investing in yourself. That's what you need. And you got all the Phil's Gang material archived. You got classrooms. You got support. There's nothing like it. So as this market continues to go higher, not because things are good, not because the economy is doing well, because of all this stimulus, you're missing one of the best opportunities to put retirement money away now. Sock it away now, but you got to learn how to do it. Check us out. That's philsgang.com, or give us a call, 877-600-4264.
There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. It's clear the real undisputed champion in social and financial talk is Phil Grande and the Phil's Gang Show.
You know, Obama got the last laugh because another fantastic jobs report came out.
The last laugh is on you, Bill. Think about this. 232,000 jobs created. How about this? We lost 252,000 full-time jobs to get those 232,000 jobs. And worse, we gained 437,000 lousy part-time jobs, mostly minimum wage. No, the last laugh is on you.
Only Phil Grande delivers business and financial news with an insider's perspective on Wall Street and the economy.
You're going to keep trying to push these banks higher, offset what's going on. And the earnings are all driven by, of course, stock buybacks. So you got all this stuff going on, which makes for a perfect storm.
That's the one and only Phil Grande and the Phil's Gang Show.
Join me weekdays at 3 p.m. for the best in social and financial talk. That's weekdays every day at 3 p.m. here on philsgang.com. What makes investors around the world successful? They're savvy, they do their homework, they look for the best value, and they find it at Interactive Brokers. Phil's Gang chooses Interactive Brokers, stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, and worldwide from one account. I recommend Interactive Brokers to all my Phil's Gang members. I use it myself. Check them out. Go to philsgang.com and click on the Interactive Brokers graphic, and that's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Money's coming to me.
We have a good economy, so the consumer is doing okay. Record retail sales. Housing is doing fantastic.
Seems like optimism about housing is weakening.
There's structural changes happening in this housing market. The middle part of the housing sector has actually been hollowed out. What you're seeing is multifamily home building for people going into apartments and condos.
And the reason you're seeing that is because people just don't have money. In fact, 50% of people's income, their take-home pay, goes towards rent. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. You just heard that. I mean, that's the crazy thing about Wall Street. This is why you don't want to listen to CNBC. You don't want to listen to these kind of programs, because they just want you to feel good. For this guy to come out and tell us today that housing is really doing fantastic, it's not. It's doing terrible. Because we are missing the first-time home buyer. That's about 47%, used to be 60% of the market. But he's gone. He hasn't got a good job. He's struggling. He's living at his parents' house in the attic or he's living in a cellar, and he just can't. He's got debt with a car. He's got debt with a student loan, and the problem is he can only find a part-time job, and there lies the problem. It always comes back to jobs. This country is about jobs. And that's why the worst thing that could be happening is the new trade agreement that we're putting out there. It's just going to really hurt jobs. But before we get into that, let's get to the stock market.
Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market, economy, and current events.
Okay, last week I told my gang members to focus on the banks because the banks are going to be used to keep propping this market up. Because the earnings aren't terrific and because there's very light volume in the market, they're going to continue to drive the stock market higher with the bank stocks. And that's exactly what they've been doing. And if you look right now at exchange traded fund XLF, which is a basket of all the stocks, this is a great opportunity. Bank stocks is a great opportunity to buy the banks. I would say on XLF, if it got up around 24.92, that'd be a good place to put an order, or 24.94, that area, and then just put a stop right under around 24. I'm sorry, right around 24.44. What a great opportunity! Because see, they got to drive the banks. See, the banks, what they do is when there's a lousy economy and they got to move the stock market up, they go to the banks. The Fed prints money, gives them the money, tells them go buy their own stocks. It is the banks that lead the market higher. It's always been that way. And that's why back in 2008 when the banks were collapsing, that's why they didn't let them. That's why President Bush didn't let them collapse and break them up. He should have, but he didn't. He propped them up. They're still being propped up today to lead the market up. And that's what they're doing right now. Because we don't have any sales. Our earnings are terrible, but our stock prices are going up. So you have no sales, but earnings continue to go up, and the stock prices continue to go up. And so you can't have a better scenario. When the economy is doing horrible, the stock market is the place to be. And right now, with your oil stocks and your gold stocks and those kind of groups, they're good because the dollar is finally getting hit. The dollar has really been dropping. And that's because nobody believes anymore, or I shouldn't say nobody, the majority of the folks no longer believe that there's going to be an interest rate hike come in June. It's not going to happen. And I'm talking about the interest rate hike in which the Federal Reserve loans money to banks that they call the overnight rate. They just can't do it. If they ever did that would be murder. I mean, can you imagine if they ever took and did that? I mean, there'd be a depression. There'd be a depression. And here's another thing that's going on right now. Think about it. We have that 10-year Treasury yield going up. That is really bad because that 10-year Treasury yield, remember what the government borrows money and it's pegged to that rate. And there lies the problem. You can't have the 10-year Treasury going up and up every day and the government paying higher rates of interest because that really kills the economy. So that's a problem right now. So what they're going to probably do is start getting the banks, print money, and get the banks to start buying these treasuries so to move the 10-year Treasury yield or interest rate down. Because remember this, the Fed rate, the overnight rate, that's the one that's at 0%. That's the one that's killing your savings. That's why you don't get savings anymore. For you people that retire, you got to go back to work because that Fed rate, you really got screwed by Bernanke by dropping that to 0. But that Fed rate, the overnight rate in which the Fed loans money to your bank, and then they loan you, here's what it does. It affects your credit cards. It affects the adjustable rate mortgages. And it affects the cost of money lent to businesses in your community. Well, if they raise that rate in June, that would put this, first of all, the stock market would collapse about 20-30% and would really collapse the economy. The 10-year Treasury yield has been going up, or interest rate's been going up, but that affects, remember, that affects the rate at which you pay your 30-year fixed rate mortgage. and it affects auto loans. So you can see right now auto loans are starting to diminish. Auto sales are starting to go down because that interest rate for autos is going up and the interest rate for housing is going up. And that's why Obama has kicked in and went to the banks and said to the banks, look, let's get out there and let's push all these loans that we can, and we'll do 3% loans, and we'll do it. These FHA loans will guarantee the banks, hey, you go and put an FHA loan on, guarantee you that not to worry. If the loan goes bad, the taxpayer would pay you. He's really into that program now. That's where he's really trying to get that part of the economy moving. He's going back to subprime lending, which is really bad. By the way, the biggest problem that you have with the housing market is the appraisals. If you have 20% down and you have credit score of, let's say, 850, and you go to a bank and you're going to buy a house for $500,000, the appraisal system is killing the housing market, because some appraiser will come in and appraise that $550,000 house at $350,000. Because the system under the Dodd-Frank bill, what they did, they went so far before. Remember the market from 2000 to 2007, the appraisers would appraise a house at whatever price the realtor wanted it. They went to the extreme. Now they went to the extreme again the other way, and now the bank has a list of appraisers, and these appraisers aren't even familiar with your area of town. They're not even familiar with your city. Some appraisers come in from another city, and there's a list. And you buy a house, it's really worth $500,000, but some idiot who's lazy, who's from 2 towns over, they bring him in because they're on a rotating list, and all of a sudden you find that house that the buyer was agreed to buy it for $500, the seller agreed to sell it for $500. Everybody was happy. They know the value is there, and you get this terrible appraisal. That is really killing the housing market, and it's killing the price, the value of your home. Even though you're not selling your home, you're in that neighborhood of $500,000 houses. It's hurting you. It's just terrible. That's one of the biggest problems you have with housing, which nobody talks about today. The appraisal system has to be changed in this country. They've taken it to an extreme. You got to be able to go back to local appraisers. They let the realtor pick the appraiser with the bank's approval. People who understand the city, who understands the town, and that's one of the biggest problems, and nobody's talking about the appraisal problem. Hey, we'll be right back after this break. The market is up about 50 points, and it's the banks. It's all about buying the banks.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Professional traders and investors know that Interactive Brokers provides the edge they need in today's markets. Low commissions and financing rates, along with best price execution and a focus on advanced trading technology and low costs that help maximize returns. At Interactive Brokers, not only do professional traders and investors get direct market access to stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, and funds on over 100 markets in 23 countries from a single IB universal account. They also benefit from a wide array of advanced trading technology, from extensive options trading tools to sophisticated risk management and much more. Keep a pulse on daily market activity with commentary with IB's Traders Insight, which delivers market analysis from professional traders in the industry directly to your screen. Visit us at interactivebrokers.com to learn more about these offerings. interactivebrokers.com. Interactive Brokers, member SIPC.
Hi, this is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. What makes investors around the world successful? They're savvy, they do their homework, they look for the best deal, and they find it at philsgang.com and Interactive Brokers.
Professional investors know that Interactive Brokers provides the edge they need in today's markets. Low commissions and financing rates, along with best price execution and a focus on advanced trading technology and low costs that help maximize returns. At Interactive Brokers, not only do professional investors get direct market access to stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, and funds on over 100 markets in 23 countries from a single IB universal account, they also benefit from a wide array of advanced trading technology. Go to interactivebrokers.com and improve your returns today.
PhilGang.com. Choose InteractiveBroker.com. Check out Interactive Brokers for more information. And be sure to tell them Phil Grande sent you. That's InteractiveBrokers.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil'sGang.com. You know, a lot of people are afraid of the stock market after losing most of their money in the different crashes, but now you don't have to be fearful because we have technology that will tell you when the markets are ready to collapse. That's right, the PT2. I designed it so that we get information in advance of any correction, the smallest correction to the largest correction. Get my PT2. Make sure this time when you are investing that you have safety on your side.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264.
I love your show. I love your honesty. Glad to say I'm doing very, very well. Thanks to Phil. I now have become a consistent, profitable trader.
I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
I'm so grateful that I found you and with you and your staff.
This year, I'm up 60% on my portfolio.
I'm on top of the world. I finally feel like I've got my master's degree in stock trading.
Well, I just want to tell you, thank you for giving my confidence back in trading.
I have learned more in this 2 months than I've had in my years of doing all my different stuff, and I want to say thank you.
Been with you a long, long time. Done really well with you.
I think what you're doing is extremely important. Financial education is, in many respects, the most important education you can get, and that's what they're getting from your show.
For more information on the philsgang.com, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. Again, that's 877-600-4264.
If you want to generate extra income or basically secure your financial future, you should join philsgang.com and get the best investment education available on the market today. For only $49.95 a month, you'll have complete access to Phil's daily live webinar classes, alerts, educational videos, and much, much more. At philsgang.com, there are no contracts and no hidden fees, just straightforward, no-nonsense market investment knowledge that only Phil Grande can deliver. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Move over. TD Ameritrade and Scottrade. There's a new leader in the pack of the finest trading platforms in the country. That's right, Phil's Easy Trade platform, designed by professional traders, and is why it's so easy to navigate, so easy to execute, and includes the most important and advanced features that give both professional and novice traders the edge they would expect. So simplistic, so stealth-like to assist you in building your profit center. For information on Phil's Easy Trade platform, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG.
That's right, folks. philsgang.com now offers a stock trading and investing platform. This unique platform is fast and designed for performance with the integration with PTT1 and PTT2 stock charts. It will also be tailored to the way that Phil's Gang teaches you in class. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by philsgang.com.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Remember, the banks, that's where you want to be right now. If you want to join the gang, join my gang, Phil's Gang. It's only $49.95. And then with my class, I'll guide you through these banks, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. But the banks are going to drive the stock market higher. The plunger team has put the banks together, printing money for them to get in there and buy stocks. Because, as I said, the earnings have been terrible. And the economic news we're getting is horrible. But they can keep the stock market going by driving the banks. So join my gang. And, again, remember I told you to do this with gold? And you didn't listen. And look how gold went up in Caterpillar. I gave it to you. I told you to do that with IBM, 3M. God, more stocks I've given you. DFE, the small mid-cap stocks. I said, just join the gang and follow me on this specific stock. And they've all done terrific, some as much as 30%. But let's not do the percentage. I cut them in half for you because I know you don't think they're realistic. But you join the gang, you see they're true. So you just got to focus on one stock at a time. So check it out, philsgang.com. And as I say, if you do well, all we ask you to do is to donate to St. Jude. That's it. So I'll reach out to you. I'll help you. Because remember, retirement is coming and you're going to need help to accumulate money. The government is not going to be there to help you, believe me. In fact, the government, through this new plan, which, by the way, on all these Sunday shows, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, on all the Sunday shows, the Republicans are saying they got the votes to pass this bill, which is going to be a horrible bill. And Obama and the Republicans are promising to protect the American workers if this goes down. Are you kidding me? Protect the workers? They've screwed the workers on every trade bill. It's just awful. But before we get into that, did anybody watch Bill Maher? Unbelievable, this guy. He does no homework. And he had this guest on. Her name was Heather McGee. What they come out, the comments that come out through these people's mouth is unbelievable. No research, nothing. They know nobody's paying attention. The liberal audience they just collapse. They just clap. Don't know why they're clapping, but because they're up there, they must think they know what they're talking about. Yeah, let's play this cut.
Why are the patriots the ones who don't want to spend money on trains?
It drives me insane.
I know.
This is just no way to run a country. We are literally squabbling about whether or not we should repair our crumbling roads and bridges from 100 years ago, or put in these safeguards that we know that we had that were available, whether we can afford them. And it's like, meanwhile, across the pond, our competitors are just handing us our lunch, right? They're creating broadband that is incredibly fast and wind farms, and they're doing actually exactly what we taught them to do in the post-war period, which was a mixed economy, which is, it's going to take some government. Okay. It is actually going to take some government because there are some things that we can't do ourselves and that no individual company can afford to do.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? And you got people applauding for that? They want more government in their life? What, are you kidding me? Then she went on to talk about how Europe is so far ahead of us in all these green projects like wind, renewable energy. Are you kidding? Germany can't wait to get out of the renewable energy, especially wind and solar. They can't wait. Either can Great Britain. It's a total failure. It's horrible. But let's get back to what she and Bill were talking about. She said, we're squabbling over this money. We just don't want to give enough money to the railways, to Amtrak. Are you kidding me? We gave them all kinds of money, $50 billion. Now we're going to give another $52 billion. Amtrak is funded better than any other agency. But they don't make any money. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
They did a lot. They made roads and bridges.
That's
and also,
right. Sewers to help handle the rainfall.
Brought our country back from the brink.
So she's talking about stimulus, how it worked. It didn't work. Stimulus did not work. $800 billion, it didn't work. But going back to what they're talking about, about Amtrak, what a lie. Here's what people don't understand. They were talking about how, and Bill Maher was talking about how insensitive the Republicans were because the day of the crash, they were cutting the budget on the on Amtrak. That was not true. That's not what happened. To understand what this is all about, you need to go back to 2008 when 25 people were killed in a head-on train accident. Two trains, same track, bam. 25 people were killed. So they passed the Rail Safety Improvement Act of 2008. They funded it with $50 million to develop and put in place by 2015 what they call the private train control system, which automatically overrides the train's operator if he exceeds a certain speed. The train comes to a halt or slows it down. Now, they're claiming it is all the Republicans' fault. These 8 people got killed because they're cheap, because they're against trains, because they're cutting the budget. That's not what happened. The deadline for the completion of this system was 2015. Remember, it started out in 2008. 6 years later, Amtrak has installed the positive train control along most of the northeast corridor between Washington and Boston, including the section of the track where that accident happened last week, the derailment occurred. The reason it did not work, even though the equipment and the transponder were installed on this section of track where the 8 people were killed, is Amtrak needed to buy the rights to the airways to hook to the transponder to flick the switch to make it work, to make the system active. Well, guess what? It's been over 4 years since Amtrak has applied for that permit to buy the airways, so to activate the positive train control system that's been installed. The delay is in the Obama administration's 468,500 pages of new regulations, which govern the application, in which one of those regulations, the FCC, has to approve the Amtrak application. It's got to approve this application for them to go out and buy the airways it needs. Well, the application's been sitting there for 4 years delayed due to Obama mountains of regulation. They can't get it through. More when we get back. Join my gang tonight, Phil's gang. Follow me with the bank stocks.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Obama can't let the stock market go down. You lied about Benghazi. You lied about the AP. You lied about the IRS. You lied. Stop coming out here as a salesman. What's about is personal responsibility and education. Go to any supermarket, go to any store. My God, they got people that are 90 years old pushing out the carts. The last time I was in a supermarket, I took the old man, I put him in the cart. And I wheeled him to my car with the groceries. What have we gotten for stimulus? Trillions of dollars of stimulus. What have we gotten for? $3 trillion directly into the stock market. Lied to everybody, said we're doing that's a great job. Pelosi tells you, go home. Your job locked. I don't blame him. He's taking a vacation, but stay home and rent some videos. So I care about your financial stability and making money in the stock market. For the rest of business news, social, and financial talk, join me, Phil Grande, at Phil's Gang Show, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Listen live at philsgang.com.
Professional traders and investors know that Interactive Brokers provides the edge they need in today's markets. Low commissions and financing rates, along with best price execution and a focus on advanced trading technology and low costs that help maximize returns. At Interactive Brokers, not only do professional traders and investors get direct market access to stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, and funds on over 100 markets in 23 countries from a single IB universal account. They also benefit from a wide array of advanced trading technology, from extensive options trading tools to sophisticated risk management and much more. Keep a pulse on daily market activity with commentary with IB's Traders Insight, which delivers market analysis from professional traders in the industry directly to your screen. Visit us at interactivebrokers.com to learn more about these offerings. Interactivebrokers.com. Interactive Brokers, member SIPC.
I love your show. I love your honesty. Glad to say I'm doing very, very well. Thanks to Phil. I now have become a consistent, profitable trader.
I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
I'm so grateful that I found you and with you and your staff.
This year I'm up 60% on my portfolio.
I'm on top of the world. I finally feel like I've got my master's degree in stock trading.
Well, I just want to tell you, thank you for giving my confidence back in trading.
I have learned more in this 2 months than I've had in my years of doing all my different stuff, and I want to say thank you.
Been with you a long, long time. Done really well with you.
I think what you're doing is extremely important. Financial education is, in many respects, the most important education you can get, and that's what they're getting from your show.
For more information on the philsgang.com, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. Again, that's 877-600-4264.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti. Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Boy, the news has not been good lately. You know that 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 24% of Americans have more credit card debt than emergency savings. Or how about this one? Adults under the age of 35 currently have savings rates of negative 2%, Wow. We need to set up a game plan. We need to get you back into the financial markets in a very positive way. And we can do that. Just join philsgang.com. We're here to help you. It's only $49.95 a month. That's it. You're going to be investing in yourself. That's what you need. And you got all the Phil's Gang material archived. You got classrooms. You got support. There's nothing like it. So as this market continues to go higher, not because things are good, not because the economy is doing well, because of all this stimulus, you're missing one of the best opportunities to put retirement money away now. Sock it away now, but you got to learn how to do it. Check us out. That's philsgang.com or give us a call 877-600-4264. Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. You know, a lot of people are afraid of the stock market after losing most of their money in the different crashes, but now you don't have to be fearful because we have technology that will tell you when the markets are ready to collapse. That's right, the PT2. I designed it so that we get information in advance of any correction, the smallest correction to the largest correction. Get my PT2. Make sure this time when you are investing that you have safety on your side.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by philsgang.com.
A statement of fact, if we appropriated $1 trillion tomorrow for infrastructure reform, nothing would happen for a matter of years. When I say nothing, I mean basically nothing.
That's not true, because we had the stimulus package, and I remember driving around the projects here in L.A., that these people were out working, and they did something.
And then he went on to say how insensitive the Republicans were to cut the budget of Amtrak. That's not what happened. What happened was that this positive train control was installed in this section of track where the train collapsed. They're in this equipment. There's a transponder. You have, like in a plane, but because of the tremendous amount of regulations that the Obama administration put in, 468,500 pages of new regulations governing this application. Two of those pages govern this application in which these regulations, the FCC controls them, and they have to approve them. So Amtrak sent the application in 4 years ago. It was delayed due to these regulations. So what they did, so by all they had to do is just approve it. These people would be alive today. That train wouldn't have gotten off the track. But the Democrats, as you know, they're saying is never let a catastrophe go by or a tragedy go by. Use it. So don't ever let a tragedy go to waste. So what they said is they came out with this lie, and they said that they cut this bill. There was no cut in a bill. Pelosi, there was a bill already at the day that Amtrak crashed. There was a bill that was being voted on. It was it was a $55 billion bill. It was under housing and transportation bill. It was already there. They're voting on it. When the plane crashed when the train crashed that day, came off the tracks, Pelosi and her Democrats said, let's go and do an attachment on it of $825 million. Now, they know they couldn't do it. They knew the Republicans would have to say no. Why? Because they understood that there was a cap put in place under Obama's own cap. He set the caps. Do you remember when we had the, what was it? It was the, what was the name of it? Sequestration. And under that, Obama said, I'm going to cap all the spending. That was his idea. So if they attached the $825 million that Pelosi and the other Democrats were going to attach to the $55 billion bill, they knew the Republicans had to say no. That's what Bill Maher was talking about. He said, they're so insensitive, they cut this. They had to cut it and the Republicans knew they had to cut it and set them up so that everybody would blame the Republicans as they are now on TV. All the liberals would say, look at that. Look how they cut the budget. Look how insensitive they were. The people that were insensitive weren't the Republicans. The people who were insensitive were the Democrats, the liberal Democrats, who brought this up. They're the ones who set them up for this $825 million bill, which would never be passed. And that's what's going on. But you don't hear anybody talk about it. It's just, they're so insensitive. They decided that. And listen, the problem's not money. Amtrak is not underfunded. It's undermanaged. It has plenty of money, taxpayer money. Before the accident, you and I gave Amtrak another $53 billion on top of the $50 billion, and they still can't make money. Amtrak earned $2.5 billion in revenues last year, but they spent $3.7 billion. Nobody's managing it. That leaves a loss of $1.2 billion. They do that. They've been doing that every year, and we just send more of our tax money to them. 41 of Amtrak's 44 routes lose money. So, again, this is a whole lie set up by the Democrats to make it look like the bad old Republicans, they did not want to fund Amtrak for this positive train control system. The positive train control system has already been paid for in 2008. It's just that the FCC are delaying all of these permits to buy the airwaves it needs to hit that transponder that hits the switch that stops the train. There's the truth about it. The problem is not money. And then when you talk to this Heather here, listen to this Heather. She goes and she talked about how Europe is really doing great. They're doing terrific with renewable energy, especially wind. Are you nuts? Liberals like her are so enthusiastic for this free, clean, green, renewable electricity. They overlook the problem with it. Like, for example, here in the United States, it costs $52 per 1 million watt hours when it costs only 63 cents by producing electricity by natural gas. So we have to, you and I as taxpayer, have to subsidize the difference between $52 and 63 cents. We got to put up the difference. Now, it's the same thing in Europe. Now, Obama, he bragged at the last State of the Union energy that went at State of the Union address that wind energy, remember, added nearly half of all the new power capacity in America. So what? It doesn't work. What he failed to mention, the wind energy added half of all the new power capacity because it's being subsidized by you and me. But it's not competitive. Without you and I subsidizing, it's not competitive. It's like Amtrak. It's not competitive. In fact, for every one job created in wind energy, 4 are lost in a productive sector like fracking or oil drilling. Now let's go to Germany. She talked about Europe. This nut talked about Europe and Germany. Now what they found, and we found here in the United States, that wind speeds in sunlight aren't consistent. They vary throughout the day. They go up and down. They're not efficient because they vary during the day. So the output is what is important. You got to have output being consistent. So what they do is they start talking not about output, but capacity to hide the fact that the output sucks because it doesn't work, because it's not stable. So what they do is they hide it, the output, because it sucks, and they talk about capacity instead. But think about this. The actual output, like Britain, for example, is around a lousy 25%. Germany is lower. Their output of electricity by wind is 17%. What are you, nuts? So to maintain this, she's bragging all about how, boy, look at the system works in Europe. We should be just like them. Are you nuts? So to maintain a consistent supply of power, consistent output, so that they got electricity, it's nice and even, the grid is nice and even, there's not highs and lows, and the electricity shuts off and comes on. What do they have to do? Some businesses, by the way, have to install their own energies, their own generators. But what does the government has to do with these deals? They have to put online conventional power plants run by what? Oil, diesel fuel. So, and not only is it not efficient, it's expensive. So it negates any supposed CO2 savings from the wind. In fact, the power stations that are run by diesel or coal or whatever, they put out much more carbon than normal. So that negates any CO2 savings from the wind. But she doesn't talk about it, nor does Bill Maher talk about it. Germany was more aggressive than any other country in the world. They poured billions and billions of dollars into subsidies into wind and windmills to make electricity. And guess what? Germany, they have the highest electricity bills in all of Europe. Unbelievable. And it's so inefficient. They're bringing on these big power stations run by diesel fuel and coal. They're just absolutely ridiculous. We'll be right back after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Here at Phil's Gang, we understand the ghosts of 2008 and 2009 hang over all investors. In a recent banking analyst report, studies show the reason people are not investing in the stock market is a greater need for financial education. At Phil's Gang, we are your #1 provider of financial investing education techniques. For over a decade, Phil Grande has been coaching, guiding, and helping people build a successful trading plan for any time frame, from current income to retirement security.
I think what you're doing is extremely important. People don't realize this, but financial education is in many respects the most important education you can get, and that's what they're getting from your show.
Build your investment confidence with Phil's Gang today with daily webinars, alerts, and educational videos. And all material is archived for your convenience. Put the investment ghosts in the past and start investing with Phil Grande and Phil's Gang today. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com. Or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
If you want to generate extra income or basically secure your financial future, you should join philsgang.com and get the best investment education available on the market today. For only $49.95 a month, you'll have complete access to Phil's daily live webinar classes, alerts, educational videos, and much, much more. At philsgang.com, there are no contracts and no hidden fees, just straightforward, no-nonsense market investment knowledge that only Phil Grande can deliver. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Here at Phil's Gang, we understand the ghosts of 2008 and 2009 hang over all investors. In a recent banking analyst report, studies show the reason people are not investing in the stock market is a greater need for financial education. At Phil's Gang, we are your #1 provider of financial investing education techniques. For over a decade, Phil Grande has been coaching, guiding, and helping people build a successful trading plan for any time frame, from current income to retirement security.
I think what you're doing is extremely important. People don't realize this, but financial education is in many respects the most important education you can get, and that's what they're getting from your show.
Build your investment confidence with Phil's Gang today with daily webinars, alerts, and educational videos. And all material is archived for your convenience. Put the investment ghosts in the past and start investing with Phil Grande and Phil's Gang today. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com. Or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. It's clear the real undisputed champion in social and financial talk is Phil Grande and the Phil's Gang Show.
You know, Obama got the last laugh because another fantastic jobs report came out.
The last laugh is on you, Bill. Think about this. 232,000 jobs created. How about this? We lost 252,000 full-time jobs to get those 232,000 jobs. And worse, we gained 437,000 lousy part-time jobs, mostly minimum wage. No, the last laugh is on you.
Only Phil Grande delivers business and financial news with an insider's perspective on Wall Street and the economy.
They're going to keep trying to push these banks higher, offset what's going on. And the earnings are all driven by, of course, stock buybacks. So you got all this stuff going on, which makes for a perfect storm.
That's the one and only Phil Grande and the Phil's Gang Show.
Join me weekdays at 3 p.m. for the best in social and financial talk. That's weekdays every day at 3 p.m. here on philsgang.com.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by Phil's Talking Trader Stock Charts. Attention listeners, join Phil's Gang's Phil Grande Wednesday, May 27th from 6 to 8 p.m. in support of Sarasota Sheriff Tom Knight's campaign for a third term in office. Wear your flip-flops and join Phil for this casual event at 2919 Pony Lane in Sarasota, located in the Old Forest Lakes. That's Wednesday, May 27th from 6 to 8 p.m. in support of Sarasota Sheriff Tom Knight's campaign. Get more information by email, tomknightforsheriff@gmail.com, or call 941-312-1817, 941-312-1817.
And that's May 27th, 6 to 8 p.m. I will be there. Also, go to my site, philsgang.com, where you get all the information and where you send your donations. Don't miss it. Tom Knight, I support him. He's a wonderful sheriff, and I hope you support him as well. Go to my site, philsgang.com. All the information is right there for you. Okay, check it out. Listen to this. Bill Maher.
But how's this for sensitivity? Hours after the crash, House Republicans voted to cut Amtrak's budget. Why do Republicans hate trains?
That is a total lie. Hours after the crash, they did not cut the budget. The ones who were insensitive, as I told you, were the liberal Democrats, Pelosi and Schumer, who tacked on to a bill that was already in place. It was a $55 billion transportation and housing bill. Had nothing to do with Amtrak. So they knew that the 825 could not be tacked on. But they knew they could set up the Republicans to get set up just like what Bill Maher did, to blame them. So they said, we're going to tack on this $825 million, but they could not pass it because it would be over the spending cap set in place by Obama because of the sequester. Remember that? They shut down the White House tours. It was him. He's the one that put it in. He put the cap in. That's why the 825 couldn't go there. But they go, look, we'll make the Republicans look stupid. Now, the Republicans look stupid on their own. They don't need help. But this is a little unfair, I would say. This is pretty stupid. This is unbelievable. But so Bill Maher comes on. He swallows it. He doesn't do any studying. He doesn't understand. He doesn't go into research any of this. It's just incredible. It's like the TPP, okay, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That's a horrible thing. Think about this. If you take that partnership, Obama and all the big business leaders and the Chamber of Commerce are swearing that in this trade agreement, there's going to be tremendous, meaningful job protection for the work. Are they nuts? Why are we so lucky now? Why are we going to be so lucky now? Because it didn't happen in the past. All the other trade agreements, it didn't happen. Colombia, we traded with, when we signed the trade agreement with them. Guess what? 105 of their union activists who were asking for better working conditions were killed. Not one complaint went to the U.S. Labor Department. Not one. Are you kidding me? Then we had another working agreement, trade agreement, and another 1,337 people received death threats. The U.S. Department of Labor, nothing. They have not accepted a formal complaint about worker mistreatment since the NAFTA and all the other trade agreements. So why are we going to be so lucky to buy into this, that now the Trans-Pacific Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is going to be the biggest trade agreement, which is going to kill jobs back here. Why are we going to be so lucky to believe them now that they're going to protect the workers when they're not protecting the workers around the world with all the other agreements? This is a bunch of nonsense. But here's what's not nonsense. Again, join my guy, because you've got to build a nest egg. You've got to retire, and you've got to start early. And I can help you with that. And you don't have to depend on these planners. Again, I was driving around on Saturday. I kept hearing the same ad over and over. The guy was selling this thing where, once again, if the market goes down, you'll never lose money. You'll never lose money if the market goes down. Market goes up, you'll make money, but you never lose money when the market goes down. What a bunch of nonsense that is. That is ridiculous. If that was the case, I'd give him my money to manage. Matter of fact, he'd be the only guy in the world managing everybody's money. If you could give somebody a guarantee that they never lose money in the stock market, what he doesn't tell them, it's a scam. It's an insurance policy you're buying. And the way that policy works, and I talked about it before, what a scam, is that most people do not do anything until the market crashes. They're complacent. They don't do anything. As long as they think, I'm making money, I'm not going to do anything. Once the market crashes and they lose half of their money, now they decide, what do I do? What am I going to do now? Boy, I'm not going to let this happen. So they come in and say, look, I got an annuity for you, and buy this annuity, and you'll never lose money again. So people sign up for it having no clue that the fees are horrendous, or choke you to death, the fees. You can't make money with these things. But here's the real issue. They cap you as to how much money, when the market starts going back up, and let's say the market's been going up 30% every year since 2005. And it has been 30% a year. But you know what they cap you to? 5%. How do you think the insurance companies make the money to say to you, you will not lose money when the market goes down? How do you think they cushion you? It's with your own money, because they screw you on the way up. They cap you, so the insurance company makes 25% each year. So you don't make it. By the time you get commissions, you make nothing. What a con job that is. Look, the best thing to do, as I said, is to understand what's going on right now. In the next couple years, during this election, we're going to see this market rally even more. We're going to have an interruption. We're going to have a stock market correction. There's no question about it. We can see it. We can feel it. It just shows what's going on. The leadership stocks aren't leading anymore. When you go look at Facebook, and you go look at Apple, and you go look at Disney, you go look at Intel, those are the leadership stocks. They're not leading anymore. The dollar is now collapsing. It was the dollar that was going up every day on the lie that we're going to raise interest rates in June. Now, when I talk interest rates in June, I mean that overnight rate from the bank, from the Federal Reserve to your bank. I'm talking about that rate, and that's very important because that affects your credit cards, your adjustable rate mortgages, the cost of money that's lent to business. They're not going to raise that. It's going to be, we would go into a deep depression if they ever raised adjustable rate mortgages and raise interest rates on businesses. It would never happen. Not in this economy, because we're not growing. Because if you take out all the monkey business and the economic growth, we're growing 1% a year, not 2%. We should be at 7%. But the reason we're not at 7% is because we don't have what? We don't have jobs. And why don't we have jobs? Because we don't have private investment. And why don't we don't have private investment? Because everything, all the policies set up by this administration is to discourage investment in small businesses. There's the problem. So again, this trade deficit is a killer. That's a real killer. So we're going to have, when we go buy oil this fall for this country, we're not going to have any money. This country's already $18 trillion in debt. They're going to have to borrow it. And guess what? They're not going to borrow money, which, remember, the rate at which they borrow, they pay, is based on the 10-year mortgage. If they were to borrow it today, they'd have to pay 2.2%. Well, guess what? They can't pay 2.2%, the United States government borrowing money. We would be in a depression. So they're going to come in and print money, and they'll buy all those 10-year treasuries themselves, and that means those yields will go down to like 1.5%. So then the government will only pay 1.5%. That means the stock market will soar again 30% a year for the next 2 years, doing QE4. This is the time to get in and at least get an education. Look, why don't you follow me on Intel? That's one of the stocks that got hit because of the strong dollar. And when the dollar went up, they couldn't sell anything in Europe because they couldn't compete. They got hurt, just like IBM, just like Caterpillar. And when I told you to buy IBM and Caterpillar, remember? They went up, they were beautiful. So if you join the gang tonight, why don't you follow me every day with Intel and some of the bank stocks? Learn how to do this. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Hey, we'll see you on the charts. philsgang.com tonight.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.